things as a reminder until you get to the point where you're just putting on that character, you remember all that stuff, and you can move on to the other character. But it does, of course, take the work that it takes. Yeah. Sure.
So really,
and then you.
So really, you talked about sort of the like anxious judging brain,
Yeah.
like turning that off. What do you do personally to kind of turn that off and get past that?
Well, personally, like I still get it, you know. I love being in a padded cell to do my work. Because, you know, sometimes it's really frustrating, but I'm also in a safe space where I can be upset. And then, again, for those of us that bottle up our emotions and then wonder why we don't emote very well or understand our emotions, well, that's part of it, right? We keep, like, putting lids on things. I don't want to deal with that. And yet, when we allow some steam or some pressure to be released from those things, even if it means yelling in the booth or cursing in the booth. I've hit the wall in my booth. I go slap slap because it's soft and it feels nice to but also because my body wants to express itself and I'm in a place that I can do that. Part of it is I've made a safe space in my home where I can do that. When I'm in studio and the engineer or the director is watching me, I don't want to be embarrassing. I don't want to be. But sometimes the VA is going to be because you're also being asked to do something that is weird. You're being asked to do something that most people are terrified to do. There's an old adage, some people would rather be in the casket than give the eulogy. They're so scared of public speaking or being scrutinized or being looked at, and it's just terrifying. They'd rather be dead. And I guess we get that, right? Our anxiety mind is kind of like, just don't exist, right? And we go, well, obviously that's not an ideal situation. So, what do? Well, there's that, you know, the dark wolf and the light wolf within each of us, right? Which one are you feeding? If you're constantly saying, I do hate myself, I am bad at this, then of course the dark wolf keeps strong. And that light wolf can be hard to love because it doesn't feel maybe as powerful or as valuable. I don't know what. We get confused. But it really is about, I want to care for my vessel, and I want to care for myself so that my work is my best work. And when I'm in my own way, that's work for me to do. So am I loving myself? Am I caring for myself? Do I give myself the space to try? Because trying is everything. If I'm trying and failing and trying again, then I'm winning. Because we fail forward. But so many people want it to just happen the right way, the first time, and then they're mad that they're somehow human. Perfection doesn't exist, but we always think that that's somehow what's going to make us valuable. Good enough is what makes you valuable. When you can get to a place where, you know what, I'm okay with that. Is it brilliant? Maybe not. Is it working? Is it good enough? Then I should be okay with that. Because my good enough is going to get a little better each time that I'm okay with my fallible, imperfect contribution is allowing me to try again. And if trying becomes everything, then you start to realize that you've come a long way with all that trying. And again, you can give yourself those self-loves of, this is hard and I'm doing it. I think I could take some pride in that. I can take some ownership of that. I'm sorry that it's not just, so you take this blue pill, ask your doctor, it's called Sad No More. And, but I think it's the work of all of us. If conventions for you are this great bastion of safe love and community that you're wondering why is so unique to find, well, this is a unique environment that we get. And it's up to us to try and take this out into the world and be good friends to each other, safely love each other, because it's really hard when we're alone with our thoughts to be reminded that it's actually a pretty amazing thing we get to do, because it's so hard sometimes. But, all right.
Sort of to the middle part of that, do you have any tips about being more directable in the
Yeah, that's hard, right? So being directable or being malleable, right? We have great ideas. We want them to be our way because we've believed in them. We think it's right, and that's great. But of course, it's a collaborative environment. So how to be more directable? Again, it goes back to trying. They say, what if you included something like this? And you're like, well, I disagree. But of course I'll try it. I have to. They're allowed to bring their input. And nothing is worse than getting into a headbutting situation with your director until eventually they're like, just say it like this. I'm going to give you a line reading, say it like this, because then we both lose. They lose, they don't want that to happen. And of course we feel like a meat puppet on a string. I'm parroting what they said, and it's not ideal. So to be more directable is also, again, this care and compassion of, I'm allowed to make mistakes. I'm allowed to try this 10, 15, 20 different ways, and they all can be wrong. Because my next one is informed by all of that. And I would love it to just be perfect and everyone tell me how great I am and give me lots of money. Of course, that'd be lovely. But the work of it is that it's work. And it's uncomfortable sometimes. But again, the instincts and the energies and the emotions, they start to make a path that's a little easier to traverse. Especially when those things are kind of locked up. The brain and the spirit, or the brain and the energy sector, they're kind of like jungle between. And you start making pathways. And pretty soon, everybody's friends, and you can use those things more. And instincts and energies and emotions are a bit unpredictable, but they're also this great wealth of opportunity. Some people think of it like a mine shaft. They have to keep the dirt and debris out of their mine shaft, otherwise they'll never find the riches again. So we keep the dirt and debris out by doing auditions, by doing some kind of work, by just practicing. We keep some of the dust off of our instruments.
I know I'll never be the same. Shook my world so hard again. Wish I washed away my sins. He's a dead man walking, blank stare in his eyes. Should have given up on the ones I trust. Never should have been surprised when they shot him down. Cold blood to the ground.